Hey, thank you all for spending your morning with us. My background is as a trust and estates attorney, which is heavily tax focused, but my remarks today are focused on a mantra that I have with clients and which I try to instill in our wealth planners, and that is that retirement is more than about money. And in fact, wealth is more than about money. And when I say wealth, it depends on how you define wealth. To me, wealth can be defined expansively, and it can come in the guise of many forms. So wealth may be defined as, for example, growing up in a really rough section of Trenton, New Jersey, wealth for me was having a single parent mom, who gave me exposure to an abundance of all that is good in life. And that could be anything from things like listening to music like West Side Story, or the first time she took me to the old Yankee Stadium and my jaw dropped. But that's one form of wealth, that sort of scrapbook of memories that frankly is priceless. But wealth can also come in the guise of, for example, a business owner with whom I met several weeks ago in Alabama. This business owner felt that his wealth was in the form of being able to sell his business, not for a large payout, but rather to the employees of his company, to give them a share of ownership in what they had helped to create. So it seems to me that when you talk about money, and when I say money, it's high net worth money, but it's also money of people who have more modest means, that you have to get underneath what we mean by money. And I refer to it sometimes as the story behind the money. And to do that, it's about asking more and better questions. So clearly, cash flow, retirement income, very important. Good possibility that entitlement programs will be cut, historically low interest rates, the really almost disappearance of guaranteed pension plans, and the Great Recession of 5 years ago. Cash flow is critical. And if you can identify potential shortfalls for a client, that's a very good thing, because they'll have time, especially if you do it early enough, to adjust and adapt accordingly. And sometimes we find that just having an analysis, a financial plan, will reassure clients that despite what's taken place the last few years, that they're still on target for retirement, however they defined retirement. And I sometimes say that giving clients peace of mind is something that's hard to quantify, but something that is nevertheless really, really valuable to them. But just as important as giving them a sense that financially they're okay is this sense that defining wealth and retirement success can be done in words as well as numbers and dollars. So what do I mean by that? It's helping clients to envision a more rewarding and hopeful future. And again, how do you do that? Well, you do it with questions. Questions such as, done well, what do the next 5 to 10 years of your life look like? Or what are the values you want to preserve and promote in your family and community? These are the kind of things, it seems to me, that give people a sense of retirement, and a retirement, as I call it, sort of small r, that is more than just about money, because retirement's not just an event in time, and it's not just a series of dollars. It's really about transitions, and all of us are always in the process of transitioning, and those transitions are just part of life and living in an uncertain world. So the retirement survey that we have coming out now tells us that I think what we all pretty much know, and that is that people are really looking to be sharp and active in retirement. And in fact, this will be the first generation of retirees who are dealing with issues such as having parents who will be alive when they're in retirement. And there's a lot of care issues that you have to talk about with clients. There are issues of children and grandchildren with special needs that oftentimes they have to care about. So these are things that are incredibly important. At the same time, a few years ago, we did a wealth and value survey, which we entitled Resetting Values. And one of the things that we found in that survey was that people had their foundation shaken, whether it was 9/11, where their physical security felt like it was now deemed more vulnerable, or whether it was the Great Recession of 2008 and 2009, when you had companies literally disappear before your eyes. So there was really a shift, and I think that shift is still taking place, where you have people looking to sort of grab onto something that's solid and unchangeable, something that is sort of a foundation. And so you have to look at that when you're talking about retirement. And also, if you think about the industry, you can just take a walk through a Barnes & Noble bookstore, and you'll see a lot of the best-selling nonfiction books are about trying to find purpose, trying to find meaning. There's a whole industry that's growing up around this. There's a great website called encore.org, and it's all about people's search, and in fact gives you really good means of exploring opportunities for that next chapter or second act of life. So it seems to me that clients are in fact searching for a way to have their advisors paint a picture of a more rewarding and hopeful future. And part of that is identifying the risk that everyone kind of knows are out there, but it's also helping them to anticipate those banana peels that may show up, but perhaps they're not able to envision at this time. So I'll close with my 30 years of experience in this industry tells me that if advisors in our industry can help clients to ease the complexities of wealth, to listen without assumptions, and to give clients a chance to tell their story, that's that story behind the money, then in fact we will help them in transforming how they view retirement, and it will also help us to remake the industry in which we operate. So I'm happy to take any questions now or later, but I appreciate your time. Thanks very much.